Hey, welcome to my latest video, and in today's video I'm going to take you behind the scenes to an event that I was speaking at all about raising money. And I'm going to answer a very important question, which is how can you get investors to give you money? How can you get them to know you, like you, and trust you? This is going to be a complete game changer. I've personally raised over £9 million in other people's money, and if I can do it, you can do it too. If you are new to my channel, make sure you smash the subscribe button, the notification bell, give me a like, and of course, leave me any comments or questions below.
Welcome to Mr. Liam Ryan!
Who'd like to go first of these?
Oh, yeah.
Great. What's your name?
Hi guys, my name is Hafiz, for those who haven't met me.
Hi, Hafiz.
Hi Hafiz. So Liam, I'm not one to be shy normally.
Yeah.
But when it comes, and I think it's maybe the same for a lot of us, you can talk for as long as you like. Yeah, and especially me being on the speaker course, it's like one of the things. But when it comes to asking for money, you think, oh God, should I ask him for money or not? And that's one of the biggest things, and how bringing people into that. Yeah, bringing people to your way of thinking.
Yeah.
It's always like, I don't want to ask him for money. I'm scared.
Okay, so fear kicks in. It's a great point. Anyone else feel like this at some point when it comes to actually asking for the money? And one of the reasons for that, I believe, is that we're conditioned from a very young age, not to ask for money. We're also conditioned, I know I certainly was in school, that selling is bad. My year 10 English teacher, Mrs. O'Brien, and she was a bit of a witch to be fair, I was quite scared of her, but I remember her pulling me to one side saying, whatever you do, Liam, stop this sales stuff, don't become a salesman. Because I was that kid at school that could get you whatever you wanted, and obviously the teachers knew what I was up to, with my bags and my jeans and my perfumes. I was even selling cigarettes to the older kids. But we are conditioned that maybe selling is bad, but here's the thing, right? You've got to flip it on its head. You've got to flip it on its head. If you sell shit, then of course you shouldn't be selling anything to anybody. But if you are selling a service, a product, an idea that is going to help that individual go from where they are now to where they need to go, then it is your duty to put the idea in front of them. Selling is not manipulating someone, it's not bullying someone. All we do as a business owner, relocation specialist, whatever we want to call ourselves, we just help the right people make the next right decision. And we just help them buy as long as it's right for them and as long as it's right for you, okay? What can also happen is this fear of rejection. Well, what if they say no? Well, some people will say no. That's just a fact of life. You're not going to get every landlord. You're not going to get every investor. You're not going to get every person to come and work in your team. Not everyone's going to buy into your vision. You're not everyone's cup of tea. I'm not everyone's cup of tea. What you see is what you get. So what do you think the fear is?
For me, it's okay. So I'm quite credible in my background. Masters, MBA, and all this sort of stuff. I've worked in the financial services sector, which has a lot of trust, and I've worked in the corporate world for a long time as well, 25 years or so. But it's a case of, can I trust that person, and will they lose me my money, and did I really know what they're doing? That's the
So you think this is what they're thinking?
Yes.
Okay, interesting.
I know I'm not like that. They can trust me. It's one of my biggest things, trust.
Okay.
Yeah, for me,
you're very
that's so important.
Okay.
Yeah. I would never, ever want to, I use the word very lightly, but con someone.
Yeah.
It's very important to me. It's how my parents taught me as well.
Cool. So I like that point. So this is something, and this is the exact line that I use when I'm sometimes speaking to a private funder. And I might say something, look, Hafiz, we're getting on very well here. From what you've told me and from what I've told you, would you agree that our values and vision are aligned? Excellent. And I just really want you to know, one of my highest values is trust and partnerships. And I just want you to know that I would never, do anything with your money that I wouldn't do with my own. So when you become one of my private funders and we go on this amazing journey together, be rest assured that I've got your back. I'm going to keep you up to date throughout the entire process. And really what I'm looking for is a long-term relationship where we can do plenty of deals together, and it's a complete win-win. I'm building a property portfolio using none of my own money. I'm doing all of the work. You're getting a great return on your money, being an armchair investor. And one of the great things about the service that I offer my private funders like yourself is that we do an earn and learn. So if you want to come along for the ride, you can come and view the apartments with me. I can show you exactly what I do, because some investors want to do that, right? Is this all making sense, Elise?
It is,
Yeah, and I take it you're also looking for a long-term relationship?
Yes, I am.
Great, good. Well, it just sounds like a perfect match. A match made. Do you want to get married? Do you want to get married?
I already have a long-term relationship with Maria, so it's been like 4 years.
So well, we go back many years now, mate. Yeah. So all this stuff that you are going through, I'm pretty sure everyone in this room, or most people, suffer with the same thing. And it is about getting clear on what you bring to the table, being really in tune with the value that you bring. Because as someone heading up your relocation company, you bring a lot of value. And you are going to look after your private funders. Of course, there's always an element of risk. That is investing. You know, we don't ever say the word guarantee to our private funders. We just use the word fixed rate return. But if you're confident in your ability that you're going to look after them, you've done the deal analyzer, you've had Ross or Rebecca or someone in the team check it over, you've dotted the I's, crossed the T's, then it's your duty to go and put that in front of people. And I'll share a technique with you that's worked really well for me and many of the people that I've personally worked with. What you can do when you are talking to someone, let's say it's your accountant, or it's a family member, or whoever it is, and you're thinking, right, these people, I call them like my investor hit list. So I always have this investor hit list of people that I think could potentially become private funders. And something which I'll do is I'll put a deal into, say, a 2 to 4 page like PDF thing, you know, a couple of photos, you know, location, local amenities. I'll put in how much money I'm looking to raise from a private funder, what I'm looking to pay in terms of a fixed rate return. I'll make it look a bit nice and colourful. Talk about the benefits. So remember, always talk about, people a lot talk about features. I like to talk more about benefits. So talk about the benefits of working with you as a private funder, you know, earn and learn, all this type of stuff. And then what you can do is you can say, hey John, I know you're a really smart guy, and I'm actually working on this brand new property deal. Do you mind just having a look at the proposal and telling me what you think? Now remember Neil and Jackie Dobson, some of you know the Dobsons or you've heard of the Dobsons, and they did that for their first ever investor, which was their accountant actually. They said, hey look, you're a numbers guy, you're a smart guy, we could do with some help. And all they did was put the proposal in front of the accountant and said, can you give me your feedback? And the accountant said, well, actually, this looks amazing. Is there any way I could invest? So they were selling without selling and making that person make their own decision. So I would recommend having some type of investor pack. It hasn't got to be like pages and because people don't read it, to be honest with you. And you know what? The real reason why someone is going to give you the money is because they know you, like you, and trust you, and you spent that time building the rapport. Sometimes you'll have a meeting with someone and you can close them and get the deal in less than 60 minutes, if not less than that. I think my shortest time period on getting a deal was with Morali actually. He's part of one of our academies. I think it was 14 minutes. You know, first Zoom with the guy ever, boom, start to finish. I didn't really have the time, and part of me, I couldn't really be bothered. I thought, you know what, I'm just going to do this as quick as I could possibly. 14 minutes. Other private funders, I might have to work them for 6 months or 7 months. And you know what? Sometimes it's the smaller private funders that sometimes can be, you know, that are harder.
I've actually had a few people who have a lot of money, and they know that I do property investment. Just generally, I think it's about essays with things. And I've always been sort of, should I approach them or not? They've even said to me, "Get a good deal, come to me."
Yeah.
But I haven't done it.
Yeah. Because of fear.
Yeah, purely
Fear,
because it's like sort of extended family, you know.
Yeah.
So,
You know what it is? It's that fear.
And they trust me a lot as well because of my standing in like the community and the family as well. So there's that
pressure.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's fine. But yeah, there can be this pressure. You can build it up like these investors are on some sort of pedestal. They're just normal human beings, and it's a pure numbers game. You know, back in the day, I used to have a lot more coffees than I do now to get people over the line, but I wasn't as good then as I am now. But you have to go through that pain barrier. Now I've got a lot more case studies. I can talk more about my private funders. I've got a lot more examples. My profile's a lot bigger today than it was 7 years ago. But when I started 7 years ago, no one knew me. I wasn't on social media. I was just rolling my sleeves up, doing everything I could. And I started by just telling as many people as I could what I do, how I can help people. I started to go to, I'll tell you something that worked really well, and it's something that you might want to consider doing, is I went to my local property networking events called PPN Chelmsford, and they used to run that at the Great Badder, you know, Pontins Park Hotel, right? So I thought, you know what, I'm gonna start going to this networking thing. And up until then, I'd never really networked before. I was always a bit nervous. I was always quite shy. You wouldn't think that today, right? but I was. And I went to that networking event. You pay your 20 quid to turn up, and I turned up a couple of months. And then I pulled, I can't remember the guy's name now, but he's from South Africa, who was running it. And I pulled him on my second or third networking event. I said, hey, I'd love to sponsor your event. How does that work? He said, well, it's £600 for the year. You then get your company logo in the marketing. You get it on the slides. You can have your banner on the front of the stage. And if you want to, you could get up and just have a little talk every month. I said, perfect. This is what I want to do. So what happened after a short period of time, that networking event really became my networking event. And I used to have a 5-minute, sometimes 10-minute slot at the start every month. I just used to get up, deliver 5 top tips or 3 top tips, or show one of my deals, build relationships with people in that room, collect numbers, book in coffees. And off the back end of that, I started to raise money from people in that room. So certainly going to networking events on a regular basis, it might take you a couple of months to really make a dent in the networking events, but like all these things, consistency is absolutely key. You'll go to some networking events. I went to loads and I was like, not really my audience, not really my cup of tea, but you've got to try these different things out. So what I want you to do now, this is what I want you to do to help build your confidence, is just get your pens and papers and just write down 5, what do I want you to do? I want you to write down 5 of your biggest strengths that you bring to an investor. So your unique selling points. So if I was to say to you now, why should I give you my money to invest? What would be the first 5 things? And there'll be more than 5, but I just want to nail in on 5. What would be 5 reasons why I should give you my money? Yeah. Okay. Hopefully you've got 5 down. Let's. How many have you got? Okay. Well, let's start with you then. So, because it's a good exercise to do, because you can get a block, and you're like, actually, yeah. What do I bring to the table?
Like trustworthy in the sense of reliable, dependable.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay, great, yeah.
Dedicated to, scale business in a really
Okay.
successful way.
Awesome.
And I like the idea of a partnership where we're helping each other.
Oh, that sounds great, doesn't it? Who'd like to work with someone that's dedicated, trustworthy, loyal, wants to scale, and likes the idea of working in a partnership? Raise your hand if you'd like to work with someone like that. Yeah, yeah. But before you said that, I didn't know you liked that stuff, right? So it also shows the power of being vocal. You know, never be afraid to tell people and say, hey, look, this is what I bring to the party. I'm not good at everything. There's loads of stuff I'm not very good at, but I've got an amazing team, or I'm part of an academy or whatever. But hey, this is what I bring to the table, yeah? Let's give it up for Sandra, please. Excellent, well done, well done, well done. Who'd like to share their 5 reasons why I should give you my cash? Yeah, so raise your hand, who'd like to go? Let's go for it.
Knowledge,
Great.
just purely from my commercial side of it, so already dealing with solicitors, dealing with agents and stuff like that, but also know that also covers into contacts, so people don't always have that, so they might need to, and they might be scared of calling agents. I've done it, I do it on a daily basis, so it's something which I don't have to overcome that objection or overcome that fear kind of stuff. So that side.
Okay.
Time, I have the time to do it. So a lot of people, they may have the money, but they may not have the time to go and do that. Continuous education. We're continuing always. We're on the academy and that stuff. So each month, we've got an in-person, and then we do on our Zoom calls. So again with that, and last one is drive to achieve.
Nice.
I won't
like that.
stop. So regardless of if it gets hard, I won't stop. I'll just continue doing it.
When you actually say that and articulate, they're great reasons why an investor is going to give money to you. And certainly play on the fact that you are being mentored by the best team in the UK. You have got access to a mastermind group. You have got access to a power team. You are going to treat their money like it's their own money. You know how to analyse deals. You dot the I's, cross the T's. You're going to go in and treat the properties correctly. You're able to scale and grow. You're able to beat the banks. And the main reason why someone's going to invest in you is, like I mentioned, they're going to know you, like you, and trust you. So try and find that rapport with them as quick as you can, and hang out with them. You might have that initial meeting with someone, and I'm sure you've heard me say this before, but it's good for reinforcement. Whenever you finish that initial meeting, make sure you get the next one in the diary as quick as you can, because otherwise you just get forgotten, life gets in the way, kids get in the way, family get in the way, and then if it goes too cold, then you've got to start all over again. So just make sure you keep that constant pressure on somebody. I would say, like, when I started to do this, I would probably have a few meetings with people before I actually sort of said, look, where do you stand? Because I was more nervous then, and I wasn't as confident going into these meetings, and I was just winging it a bit, to be honest with you. But now if I'm with someone, you either want to do it or you don't. It's like, this is what I do, this is what I offer. I make it all about them first, so tell me everything you can about yourself. Who are you? What's your family situation? What's working well in your life? What's not working well? So I do what's called a fact-finding mission, because I want to make sure that, number one, they're the right type of person to work with. I won't just take anybody's money. I probably did in the beginning because I was desperate, but now I certainly don't do that. And I also want to make sure that I can provide them what they're looking for, because you want to make sure you've got happy investors. Would you agree? Yes or no, guys? Yeah, you want to make sure they're happy. You want to make sure that you are providing a service that is going to genuinely move them forward to success. So now I can pretty much wrap something up in a relatively short space of time. But that's not always the case. Sometimes I might need a second meeting, or a third meeting, a fourth meeting, a fifth meeting. But I don't hang around too long, because it's pretty black and white. You got a bit of cash that's losing money. I've got a great service that's going to help you. Is there some sort of connection? Do you trust me? Do I trust you? Yeah, let's go. What are you waiting for? Yeah, let's just get involved. So hey, great question there. Good session. Well done, you guys. Well done. Hey, well, I really hope you've enjoyed coming behind the scenes with me at one of my academy days. I absolutely love mentoring people, masterminding with people just like yourself. I am the co-founder of one of the UK's leading property investment and educational companies, and it's been great having you with me. So watch more of my videos right now. Stay tuned. If I can do it, you can do it, and I'll see you in my next video.